For today's video, I'm going to try to make a bot to soft reset for the static wild Pokemons in the game, like the Electrode that we encounter here in the Team Magma or Team Aqua hideout. To make this bot, I'm going to use as a basis the script from my previous video to shiny hunt for the gift Pokemon. Here I copied the script from my previous video. I'm just going to remove this part that is specific for the hunt of the gift Pokemon. And from here I am just going to add some lines of code to make the character press here the A button until the wild Pokemon appears on the screen, and then I'm going to check if the Pokemon is shiny or not. If not, I'm going to soft reset. Or if it is shiny, then I'm just going to tell to the code to stop. This part of the code that I already have handles up until the part where the character faces to the Pokeball to encounter the wild Pokemon, which is this line of code that I have here. You can check this part of the code here. I just added these steps on a function since they are mostly the same for all of my codes, and added some random delays in order to try to prevent RNG clones. So returning here to the function, I'm going to start by changing the name, and I'm going to add the information for the Pokemon that I am going to encounter as an input argument. Here I already have the variable for the name of the Pokemon, and I just need another variable for the vector representing the color of the non-shiny Pokemon. Then from here I'm just going to adapt this part of the function because this variable must be in this position. This is the part that checks for the shiny Pokemon, and the other variable stays the same because it's the name of the Pokemon as a string instead of a vector. And now all I just need to do here is add the part of the function that presses the A button up until the point when this red frame appears, and after that I'm going to press the B button until the tag of the wild Pokemon appears here on the screen, because at that moment I know that the Pokemon is already on the screen, and from there I can check whether the Pokemon is shiny or not. So as you can see here, the code is mostly the same as before, which is why I can adapt it very easily. So I believe I already have the variables for the red text box here in the battle, and also for the yellow frame from the wild Pokemon. So let me check here on my vectors. Here I have the red text box for the battle of a wild Pokemon, and of course the yellow tag for the wild Pokemon. So I'm going to use these variables to execute the code that I have over here. So similarly to my previous code, I'm going to use these two functions. Actually, I believe I only need this one function. So I'm going to use this function to press the A button until the battle text box appears on the screen. And after that, I'm going to press the B button until the yellow tag for the wild Pokemon appears on the screen. I do this because if I just press the A button, then I can accidentally kill the wild Pokemon. So after that, I just do the shiny check, and that should be enough for this code. So now I'm going to try and test this code and see if it works properly. One last thing, I forgot to record the color for the non-shiny Electrode. So I'm going to use this code once again to read a color for the non-shiny Electrode. So I'm going to use this red color on its chin because I know that the shiny Electrode is actually blue. So I'm going to save this vector with the name of the Pokemon and use it as an input for my function. So now I'm going to test the function to see if it works. Okay, so I just copy this function and I'm going to paste it here. And I just need to add the information about the environment. So my character is facing upwards, so I need to use the variable that I have as charback, and the direction of the Pokemon is to the right. The Pokemon that I am testing is Electrode, and I also need to add here the same name but as a string. These two arguments are just delays at the beginning and the end of the code, so I can use the default values that I have. And for the buffer, I'm going to use a small number. This is just the maximum random weight to try to avoid the RNG clones. And with that, the code should now work. So I'm going to compile it to try it. Okay, once again, I forgot to comment this line of code that opens the other emulators. So let's try once again. We can see that the program works correctly. It is self-resetting each time that it encounters a non-shiny electrode. And of course, this code is made to self-reset only if it finds the color of the non-shiny electrode. This helps a lot to prevent the code from accidentally self-resetting when a shiny appears. Now I'm going to let the code play with 15 emulators until it finds a shiny electrode. And at the end, I'm going to show you the shiny that I found.